Hello. What is up, everyone? Oh my God. How are y'all doing? Win Gapo. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry, I am just the new moon, y'all. It's in Scorpio, and your girl's feeling it. Just a lot of emotions are coming up. I'm like so tired. So tired. And I really I don't know what's going on. Oh my god. After work, I just had to lay down, and I just, with no alarm, just closed my eyes and passed out. Just exhausted. Like everything just feels like a task. So like me forcing myself and pushing myself to hit record is just a blessing because I almost did it. Yeah, but I don't know how you guys are doing. Please tell me in the comments below how you're feeling. What's going on? How are you, these energies? How are you dealing with these energies right now? Um, but with today's video, with all these emotions heightened, I thought it'd be so fitting to talk about my journey, my 10-month journey on Lexapro, which is my anxiety antidepressant medicine that I've been using. Um, And yeah, I feel like it's the time with all the emotions heightened and everything's coming up. And, people's anxieties are probably just off the radar right now. So I'm going to explain to y'all a little bit about my journey and kind of how it worked for me and how I even came about coming to the decision on being on medication. You just wait 1 minute though. I I need y'all to know that I am not a medical professional. So please, for the love of Jesus, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is only my experience. I know for a fact when I was going through the research aspect of it all, trying to figure out if I wanted to do this or not, I did a lot of research. So please, this is just for me to share what I went through, shed a little light, dispel some myths, and yeah, I think that there's just a beauty of hearing people's stories, and so I just wanted to say that before people say I'm trying to prescribe y'all some medication because we don't want those problems. Now, getting to this point, let's talk about it. I, for the longest time, so I was a psychology major in school, so I had the awareness of medication, kind of what it has done for people, and for whatever reason, I just never really touched on and never really thought about, never thought of myself as an anxious human. And when I started therapy during the pandemic, I feel like a lot of us were kind of just going through it. These are just coming up that from the where you're like, oh my God, was I not healed from this trauma? So I was one of those. Like I was just like things were coming up that I thought that I've healed from, or I was just masking through life. And I just for the life of me would never ever go to the place that I thought I needed medication. You know, I think a part of it was ego and pride. Um, a little bit was definitely the community being just first generation African and like the Black community. There is like some level of hesitation when it comes to medication. But that's a whole other story. Which if you want me to talk about, I could definitely do another video on that. Um, but this time last year, like I was, where rock bottom is. I was like past it. I was going through it. And at that time in my life, I was like, okay, Coco, like what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like I would spend days, days in bed, not showering. I wouldn't even watch TV. I wouldn't do anything. I wasn't like actively speaking to my friends, to my family. I was just so emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable, spiritually unavailable. And it just felt like it was always dark. And I, if you know me, I'm not a type of person who sits with their darkness. You know, I don't sit with those feelings. Like I like to bring joy and light in any situation. Okay, like I am sparkles and fairy dust and all that. Like I just love to have a good time. And even if I get in those points of feeling sad, I'm able to find ways or find people to help me get through it. You know what I mean? And nothing was working. And I was actively in therapy. I was working out at the time as well. And none of that, I was reaching out to people when I needed to, and none of that was help. Like I was like so dysregulated, and I couldn't get myself back to center. Like I was just, I don't, I can't stop. Like I can't move my body. I can't feel, and I was crying, and I was numb, and I was just so not myself that I was like, yo, something has to give. And so I took the time, to do something. I scheduled an appointment with my therapist. And when I told her, like, this is the situation, I am not happy. I am constantly on edge. My heart's always racing. My thoughts are just rapid. I always felt like something bad was going to happen. I was just losing my mind. And she was like, yeah, it seems like you've just been like literally dealing with some high stress, high anxiety, and it's hard for you to come down. And I was like, what are your thoughts about me going on medication? And bless her, she was like, you know, Coco, I've thought that you needed to go on medication for a while now, but I didn't want to like assume. I didn't want to push something that you weren't ready for. I know like just kind of how you talked about medication, how like, your background and the community and all that. She's like, I could see that you were kind of hesitant. So I didn't want to push something that you were not comfortable doing. And she was like, but I feel like it's going to be something that is going to be super beneficial to you. And I was like, okay, well, ma'am, now that you tell me this, when she told me, it felt right in my spirit. And so I immediately scheduled an appointment with my doctor, my primary doctor, and we like did the test as well. And she was like, sure enough, you are like showing high anxiety and some depression, and you need it. Cause all I needed was I need to like feel centered, grounded. I just felt things were just all over the place, and I wasn't vibing with that. That just wasn't for me. Like that's not my story. I don't do this. I'm just such a fun person. And I like told my doctor, and I was like, girl, here I've done the research. I can only look at the internet so long. I can only look at people's stories for so long. Like, what should I do? And she was like, I think you're gonna have to try this. I think this, at least for the year, let's try to this for a year and see if it could just get you back centered, get you regulated again, and then we can weed you off after a year's time. It's just kind of see where you're at. So I was like, bet, sister, like, let's do this. But mind you, in the back of my mind, I was so terrified. I was like, I don't even know what this means. Like, am I gonna be addicted to this thing? I was like, I don't even know. Is this all a placebo effect? I just wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. And yeah, sure enough, it was so easy. Like we went through all the process. She prescribed it for me. And with Lexapro, she gave me two options. It was either between Lexapro or Zoloft. Both SSRIs and like can help with depression plus anxiety. And she just told me that Lexapro was a little bit faster. And I was like, I need the quick results right now because I don't know if I can continue. Like I have to work, I have to create, I have to do all these things, and my brain is not shutting up. So, honey, give me the good stuff. I'm just kidding. And so she prescribed me Lexapro, and how the process worked is that she prescribed me 10 milligrams. these bad boys. And that first week, I was supposed to cut them in half. So I would do 5 milligrams for the week, just to get my body used to it, adjust to it, kind of see what the different effects are. And like going into it, I knew that like sleep was going to potentially would be an issue. You might have experienced nausea, dizziness, lightheadedness, fatigue, all those things. And so like, I was like, okay, let's see what's going down. It was getting so dark, and so I was like, let me just wait until daylight. So let's try this again. So I picked up my medication next day right away as soon as possible because I was like, something's got to give. And like I said, that first week, I took half of the dose. So I did 5 milligrams for a week. And that week was so interesting because I didn't get a lot of the side effects, but I definitely felt the fatigue and tiredness. I was still like able to go to work, but I was so tired. Like I would have like 6 a.m. wake up calls, and by the time I made it home, worked out, ate some food, I was in bed by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I was knocked out. And if you know me, like I don't like I'm a night owl to a fault, and I was I was slumbering. I was literally hitting my REM cycle by 8:30 p.m. That is so unheard of, and it was like consistent every single day. Like I was just so tired. Had like really, really, really bad dry mouth, which was very annoying. Having to drink a lot of water, then obviously having to go to the bathroom while you're working with kids. And then I also was feeling anxious, but I wasn't sure if that was the medication or if that was just me. It could be both. You know what I mean? Like it was like it could go hand in hand. And so I was feeling a little bit more like on edge. But like I said, I wasn't really sure if that was just me or maybe like the medication amplified it a little bit more. So I had that kind of discomfort a little bit. And I wasn't really hungry that first week. I wasn't really eating, but I was not really eating before then too. Like I was kind of just like, when you're like that upset, I wasn't wanting to eat. So other than that, like I didn't have like anything else that was pretty extreme. Like I know people can get like diarrhea or severe headaches and like migraines and stuff, but just like the sleep and the dry mouth was like a huge part of what I was feeling that first week. But I don't even know if the sleep was a bad thing. Like I was like, I need this to sleep. I needed to sleep. And so I slept. I was getting like 11, 12 hours of sleep, y'all. And that is just godsend. And it's not even like I like tried. Like I literally legitimately could not keep myself up for the life of me. Um, and so that lasted for a week, and then um, by like the middle of the second week, those side effects, those feelings kind of go away, and then you just kind of like feel normal. And I know like my doctor said like you won't feel the effects after a while, so like don't feel discouraged. Like keep taking them, which is I can't stress that enough because I feel I can understand why someone would stop after like let's say a month because you're like, well, I'm taking this medication for X amount of time, not feeling any results. So what is the point? You know what I'm saying? I get that. I feel you. I hear you. I'm with you. But please like talk to your doctors, talk to your therapist because they were once encouraged me to like keep going even though I wasn't like feeling the immediate results. And then I think on top of that, I feel people should also note that you have to do other things. You can't just rely on the medication to just be your awakening back to, living your true self and living your life and being, clear of all of what's going on. You have to really be intentional and take care of your body. And so, meanwhile, while I was really like adjusting to this new medication, I was working out consistently or just making sure that I was moving my body as much as possible. I started dancing again, which was just already in itself a way to just bring my mood way, way up. And eating well, drinking a lot of water. I started meditating, learning how to meditate, which has been so, so crucial. I've been meditating as long as I've been taking these medicines. So um doing all the things to make sure that you are grounded. Because by I would say like month 3, y'all, I oh my god, the image that I have is like, when you think of like an astronaut, or you see those movies when they're in space and then they cut out the or the oxygen, and that moment when they finally are able to just put the air back in, or like if you are like a scuba diver or whatever, and you finally are able to have the oxygen back on, and you just inhale, and then you're just able to the exhale that I had. I was just waiting to exhale, y'all. I was just waiting to exhale. I cannot describe the feeling. I just felt so grounded. I felt so centered. Like I was so unhinged prior to taking this medication that I was like, oh my god, this is like my new normal. Like I literally I can't I can't do things. I can't be happy. I can't laugh. Nothing's funny. Like I was just like, what do I need? Oh my god. And that moment when that veil just reveal itself and those layers come off, that dark cloud is kind of just slowly dissipating and disappearing, and you're just like, oh my god. I can actually like get emotional just thinking. Like I literally was not feeling this in months, like months, y'all. Like I was so, so sad. I was in such a dark, dark place. I was always on edge. I was so like that, that constant lingering feeling of dread. That's what I was like having every single day, consistently. Even if like I was doing an activity, trying my hardest to like, you know, hang out with friends and socialize, like my body was unable to like be engaged, unable to be present. Like everything felt so scattered. Everything felt so dark, and I felt like I was so isolated, even though I was around people. It was so bizarre, and that moment when I started feeling the effects of the medicine, it literally I was so so at peace. And I, I to this day, I can't even like really recall when it like actually, when I was like, oh, like I just knew I was kind of going. I was like, oh my god, like I kind of feel like myself. Not like who I was before. Like I feel like I will never be that same person, but I definitely felt so grounded and centered, and I was able to think clearly. I was able to communicate effectively. I was able to get myself out of bed. I was able to, calm myself down when things felt so out of this world, And that is literally the biggest miracle, because I was not doing well. I was not even a little bit, not even a tiny bit. And I am so grateful that I made that decision for myself, because it worked out beautifully for me. And let me just also state that this is not the thing that's gonna, make you feel like everything's amazing. Like I still get anxious. I still feel sadness. It goes in waves, but being on Lexapro just allows me the opportunity to just center myself and able to think a little bit more clearly and not go overboard with my thoughts, and able to really just push myself a little bit more. And you have to just be able to take care of yourself while you're on. Like you can't only just rely on the medicine. You have to work out, do some movement, journal. Oh my god, y'all, journal. I'm gonna do a video on self care, because I think that's just very important because we all just need to have our own regimen, morning rituals, evening rituals, things that just give us joy. Um, in general, I just feel having those things set in place, building that routine, that habit of taking care of yourself and loving yourself, just you will just see vast changes, beautiful changes in your life. I just like listened to a podcast with Brene Brown and Esther Perel, and everyone talks about like how you show up for your friends and you show up for your family and you show up for your partner, and you like will never allow your person, your people to ever feel those negative thoughts, those limiting beliefs. And why don't we do that for ourselves? And Esther was just kind of like, bring that person back home with you. Like, why? Like, obviously you're capable of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're able to be there for all your loved ones. So do that same thing. I like to think of it like now, it's just like it's a separate entity of me. Like, I'm gonna start talking to myself and like loving myself and really, really feeding myself good, yummy things that just make me so happy. And on top of all of that, with my medication, it's just only can go up from there. And yes, I have moments where I like can feel down, but I am just able to get out of those dark clouds a little bit quicker. And I think for me and what I went through and for my story, it works for me. Mind you, everyone is different. Everyone's different. So how Lexapro works for me, it might not work out the same for you. We're all different people. Some people only need 5 milligrams. Some people need double that. Or they might need 20. And so some people just don't need it all. Maybe you just need a nap. Like that, it's all depends on the person and what your needs are at that time. So just really, and I can't stress this enough, do your research. Make sure that you are reading the articles, that you're talking to your therapist. If you don't have one, go get one. You won't regret it. Talk to your doctor. Even look at YouTube videos. There's so many resources out there, and you know yourself more than anyone else does. So really just take the time to look inward and be like, okay, what do I actually need? Have I exhausted all the options, to make sure that I am able to get myself back to center? And if you really feel like, yo, this is so hard and I'm incapable of doing that, then go for it. Like I encourage you to just really make sure that you're taking the time to really just know what you need for yourself, because only you can answer that question. But I just definitely wanted to make this video just to like give people some insight on what my journey looked like and how I got to the point. I can't believe it's been 10 months since I've been using Lexapro, and definitely am so grateful that I didn't allow my limiting thoughts, my negative thoughts about it, all the myths that I had. Um, and yeah, no, I encourage you all just to really just look deep. The biggest thing is just take care of yourself. Figure out the best ways of making sure that you are living your best life and that you're allowing yourself to breathe. Wow. Just let yourself breathe. But yeah, I just hope this video, if you are thinking about it, encourages you. I hope that you're able to have an additional resource to just help you navigate how this could work out, because I know it can be very stressful. If you're looking out for a friend, a family member, a loved one, I hope that gives you a little bit more insight and that it's not a scary thing. You'll be well supported, you'll be well taken care of, and you can come out on top. So I am gonna leave it there. I also just want to say I appreciate you all for taking the time for watching this video and watching my other videos. Please, if you can just do me a huge solid, if you could just share this video or any other videos that you may have watched of mine, share it to one person, maybe 3 people if you like extra credit, and just spread the word. I would really appreciate it. This is so important to me to be doing this for the masses, for people who need to hear it. Also, please hit the like button, hit that notification bell, leave some comments, ask some questions. I know I probably didn't cover as much that you might be inquiring about. So if you have any questions, if any comments, if you are also going through this exploration of medication, put in the comments. Let's have a combo. I would love to chat about it. Let's dispel all these myths on medication use. But until then, my friends, it's been real. Yes, it's been real. And also, please be kind, be compassionate, be fierce, and be unapologetically you. Because that is all we need in this world. Can I get a woman? Hallelujah. Until next time, people, I'll talk soon.